Hey y'all, it's me, the Nosy Goddess, and I'm back getting into the business of Big Homie CC, who is a well known celebrity bodyguard. He's been on YouTube making his rounds for the past 6 to 8 months, and he's gained quite a bit of notoriety since then. And he is on real life productions talking about a number of subjects, but I want to get into specifically him giving us his thoughts on Adam 22 and his No Jumper podcast, Big U and the indictment, Wack 100, 600, Loose Cannon, and Brick Baby, and all the stuff going on with regard to that indictment. Now, also, before we get into his thoughts on that, want to get into what he has to say about his own lawsuit with him being named in a Diddy civil suit, which is horribly criminal in context. I went through that in its entirety over on my Trillion Dollar Goddess page. Come over here and check out some of my lives. I go live a few times a week. I sometimes upload over there as well, but I mostly go live over there and talk about, whatever topics I want to talk about. But I do a lot of the Diddy topics and keep up with what's going on with the lawsuits. He just had a lawsuit dismissed. I'm going to talk about that one later. But I definitely covered the lawsuit, the civil lawsuit with Diddy. Big Homie CC is named, as well as Jaguar Wright, Odell Beckham Jr., the comedian Drewski. And so you can check that one out here. I discussed that in its entirety. But I want to get into what Big Homie CC has to say about his involvement in this lawsuit, because it's quite horrific, honestly. So let's go ahead and get into that first, and then we'll get into all the No Jumper stuff and what he has to say about these things. A shout out to Real Life Productions for this interview.
Let's go, man. We got BH in the building, man. Big Homie CC. Welcome, sir. How you feeling in Dallas?
I feel good, man. I'm back home, man. We back. I'm excited.
Man, the last conversation, of course, we want to pick right back up with that. But before we even get there, because I know we're going to talk about the West Coast stuff, but we got to kick it off, man. Your name started ringing bells about a week and a half ago, man, where it came up in a lawsuit where you see Sean Diddy Combs, you see Jaguar Wright,
right?
A bunch of other people, and towards the bottom, they got Big Homie CC.
Right.
That is so out of left field.
Yep.
But for those that don't know what we're speaking on, can you speak on what that lawsuit is, when it was, and what is it pertaining to as far as they're saying happened?
Yeah, so I can speak about it. So basically, they tried to file this lawsuit last year, 2 different times. The last time that they amended it was in October of last year. I had to pay a bunch of money to get my name omitted from it. But this time, they was able to get it passed. They don't got their facts right. You see what I'm saying? Because why would I expose certain things and blow the lid off of it and then be somewhere being complicit with these activities? I've been trying to tell people that there's a conspiracy going on. Once word got out about what me and my team did about combating human trafficking, and after I did the Hillbilly show out there in California, things have been very, very strange. This is my proof that there's a conspiracy. Because, throughout history, my reign of terror on weirdos is solidified. I might have been, firearms may have been pointed at certain people for doing funny things, you know what I'm saying? But that right there is complete nonsense. Like, they don't got their facts right. Like, have I been in altercations with them? Yeah. I've been telling everybody. I've been saying it. But that right there, that's weird. That's not how all of that took place. I never worked for the Zest Monster, man, not one time. Not one time that I ever worked for dude. I never got no check from him. You feel me? But that African dude that be with him, that bald head dude, he ain't no joke. You can't play with him. He hit me in the head with a bottle. He a problem. So the dum had to come out with him. You feel me?
Because people question kind of your history about Diddy.
Right.
You have been, as far as around people who's been around him, you have been around situations where people maybe were about to go either meet him, go to a party, do something. How far in the vicinity were you from as far as a party, just studio, just being in the mix of what he is?
Yeah, so I only seen the guy as I'm being the protection for somebody that attended the events. As far as getting close to him, yeah, I could have reached out and slapped him if I wanted to. You feel me? Like very that close. Like I never ever did business with him. So like I have seen him several times because the who's who that they run in certain crowds. You feel me? Like the first part of his parties be cool. It'd be a normal socializing mixer. It's the different layer of the party where things start to get murky. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, that type of stuff I wasn't involved in. When the vampires started walking in, what I'm saying, like the white guy with the sticky hair, and the male sex workers, cakes finna start getting touched. I'm going to the car now. You know what I'm saying? Call me if it's dangerous. I'll come in and start demonstrating. Underneath that, because he ain't no pushover. He a tough cake toucher. You feel me? Like he get on some gangster shit with you. You didn't wanna. You feel me? Get a little physical. It's like, man, hold on, dude.
Tough cake touchers.
He
wow.
A tough cake toucher on Bro Graham. He is.
Did you ever run into Chopper City?
Man, bro, I was working.
So what do y'all think about what he has to say about this lawsuit that he's named in? He did speak on the fact that it's been amended, and he did pay money to have his name omitted. And he is also saying that's not the way it went down. They don't have their facts straight. So it sounds to me like there is some type of engagement with the situation that happened, but he's saying that they don't have the facts correct. Sounds to me like there's more to the story. He's not telling everything, and he could possibly be even working with the feds. He has told us several times that he is someone who helps rescue trafficked victims. And if that is the case, that means he's working on the right side of the law. So why wouldn't he be working with the feds if he has let us know that he has physically witnessed Diddy getting aggressive and being in a threatening position when it comes to his clients, when he's been at these parties and bodyguarding celebrities? He's told different stories about how he's had to rescue people from certain situations. He's gotten into altercations even doing so. So sounds to me like maybe he can't tell all of the story because maybe he's working with the feds or working with authorities. Even though it is a civil case, don't think that the feds or authorities don't monitor and investigate as well for possibly being able to pick it up as a criminal case. I guess only time is going to tell, but it would be nice for him to give some more details about that situation by saying they don't have the facts straight and that's not how that went down. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to him talking about No Jumper, Wack 100, and all the players when it comes to this Big U indictment and the podcast. Let's get into that.
I get Maverick up here in a second, but
Oh yes. No,
I want to ask one more question. When we had agreed to do the stream with the Wack 100 police force and the rest of the federal investigators on his team, And then he brought the other informant who was convicted of beating up several females in Chicago, the guy Lenny West, who they call Coffee. When you see me bullying all of them, because my brand got damaged by y'all feds because they wanted to see me crash out against the fake gangster police guys. So when I got on the stream, I jumped off because I'm like, these guys are the cops. They're going to record. All they do is police tactics. Wack said he worked for the FBI in his Vlad interview. Loose Cannon is doing things on camera that will get you a prison sentence, and he's on the street. You seen the guy 600 on the phone with them when they called me. He down at the police station getting a custom badge. And you see what I'm up against.
I don't think we saw it at the time.
This
shit is.
I can agree with that. But the thing is, though, you don't communicate as good as Rook. You see what I'm saying? So that's what was causing the discrepancy between us. I'm like, hey, man, this man, bro, when I ran into them at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
You introduced us to Luce right before that.
Yes, because he the one got me my No Jumper interview. They've been trying to line me ever since then.
Yeah, he like street stars over here.
When I seen them at the Las Vegas Convention Center, the feds was there surveilling the whole thing, watching in the building.
So I just watched something a little earlier. It was Wack 100 talking to the mother of the deceased rapper. Yeah. And she was basically telling him how Biggie was going to get arrested at the beginning of March, towards the end of March or in the beginning of April. How much police activity is Wack really involved in? Like, as we see, he was the only one that hasn't been picked up by the feds.
The man is getting unsealed paper. He's getting people's cases that's sealed, unsealed, which I thought was impossible. He's getting it and then dropping the paperwork. How is that possible? How is that possible? How is it that you the one called Jay Reed and them up to No Jumper, set it up for loosening them to attack them, and you're not indicted? How can you make terroristic threats he threatened Aaron the plumber's life on camera. Nothing happens to him.
Now, mind you, I would say, he can't be working for the laws.
He said he was.
Yeah,
in his Vlad interview, he said he worked for the FBI. Okay. That's why Big E was like, man, the man said he worked for the FBI. Why is y'all supporting him? So that whole 100 show is a team of informants and wire wearers. When I see them, man, all of them niggas was up in there. The feds was in the building surveilling that. They got pictures of that. They had my mama job this morning. So when people saying, why Wack saying he gonna be standing next to your mama? I'm like, man, he don't know my mama. He's saying that because he the feds. He worked for the law. The FBI was at my mama's job this morning at the school trying to ask me some questions. Said, I'm not under no law. They want to ask me some questions about that situation because they trying to figure out if Loose Cannon had a firearm that day. He had a felony, shouldn't have no firearm that day. I got CCW. I don't have no felony. I'm good.
How many people, if you don't mind, back in the Las Vegas situation were they with?
At least 15 people.
It's funny because I think about 15, 18 got indicted in the situation. Not saying that those were the guys, but
some of them was there.
When I see 600 post a video saying the laws is calling me to come up to the station, and he's going to record the whole thing live. He goes up there. He's like, bro, I'm breathing heavy. he's like, they tell him, come on to the back. We got something for you. And he walks out with a gold police badge with a diamond in it. On the back, it got thank you 600.
You know what? I actually showed this video in a previous upload. I'm going to show that one again real quick.
LAPD just called me. I guess y'all gonna find out some shit today. I'm gonna call them back though. Hello?
Christopher,
What's up, man? What's going on?
this is Officer Johnson. I just wanted to let you know the fellas over at the station have a little something for you.
Like, what you mean?
We got a little gift for you. Why don't you come by?
All right.
Come by the station.
All right, bet. All right. I'll be there.
10-4.
All right. See, that be that bullshit, bro. That's that bullshit. Going up in here, you never know what's going on. Oh, man. I'm sweating, boy. Man, it's hurting for me. I hope they ain't really like, I'll give you, man. Okay. Give me an LAPD with a diamond. I say 600. 600, keep going. All right, so it's official now, y'all, okay? The rapper's out the hat. How's it going? The rapper's out the hat.
There's really no way to dispute the fact that this guy who goes by the name of 600 supposedly was with the Rolling 60s is an informant, if not a cop. So anyway, let's get back to Big Homie CC talking about the Big U indictment and Wack 100, his involvement and all of that.
That's his inauguration.
Yeah, man, I don't think we've ever seen nothing like that as far as someone being even considered an informant or anything of that nature and get praised by the laws to where they ice you out.
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. I told everybody I had attached the no jumper motherfuckers to a human trafficking ring, and what's the main charge on that? Human trafficking. I told everybody that. Because the Matrix is real.
The Matrix is real. So he's saying that no jumper is linked to trafficking. Very interesting. Now, before I end this, I want to show also a clip of Wack 100 being pressed by Adam 22 like I've never seen him pressed before about the fact that he is involved in this federal indictment and that he himself may even be next.
A variety of situations that a lot of people are conflating with extortion at this point.
What do you mean by that? What you mean?
It's been supposed, and we don't have to get into the details of every single one of these situations, but it's been, you basically said in the past that Oscar De La Hoya was paying to not have his nude photos or zesty photos released.
Stop right there.
It's been said that you were talking to Nipsey's family about the gay tapes of him not coming out. I don't know if there's money involved in that. It's been suggested that maybe Kim Kardashian at one point or Kanye, that they were doing stuff for you so that you didn't release more sex tapes of her.
Okay. Now, let's start with the first one.
And when academics kind of tried to bring up some of this stuff on the podcast, you got very irate and you were really kind of screaming at it.
Because y'all dumb.
See, right there.
You're a dummy too. I gotta call you a dummy.
Okay, but
because I'm gonna show you.
But starting with the name calling makes you look more guilty.
No, I'm gonna show you why. Oscar De La Hoya.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to the conversation, I clearly state this is what the attorneys worked out.
Mm-hmm.
See, the minute the attorneys are involved, right? This is not extortion. This is a business deal. Oscar then talked about it openly on Club Shay Shay, right? So the minute you get attorneys involved, see, if you have something, right? That's yours. It's yours. And you got the consent to have it.
Okay.
And you like, hey, bro, check this out. This is really pertaining to you. Hey, attorney such and such, contact his attorney. Tell him if he wants to take possession of this shit, right, to where I don't use it, let me know, right? He calls his attorney. They negotiate what they negotiate. They draw up their paperwork, right? He never one time talks to Oscar De La Hoya, right? There's never conversation between the two. The minute you get attorneys involved in these type of situations, that's not an extortion, right? So we're going to Kanye next, right?
Sure.
This started on Bootleg Cab, did it not?
I don't remember.
Bootleg Cab said, "What's up with these extra tapes I've been hearing about?" I said, "Yeah, it's a couple extra tapes." He like, "What you gonna do with them?" I said, "We would never do anything with them but give them to Kanye." That's what was said, right?
Okay.
You can pull it up, right? So guess who calls me?
The Kardashians.
Kanye.
Or Kanye, okay.
Wack, what up, bro? Man, I seen boom, boom, boom. Yeah, is that real? Yeah. Well, how could I? You said, okay, cool. I'm gonna put you with little bro. Y'all, you know. Yeah, send him to the airport. Bro, grabbed a drive, went to the airport, gave it to him.
Okay.
What do you see? Where's the extortion?
Maybe some of that stuff is above board, but I think that a lot of people are assuming that if you were doing all this type of stuff, then maybe you were also hitting up the food vendors outside of Crenshaw High like Big U.
No, stop right there. What type of stuff have I done? Everything I just laid out to you was either it was a business deal or it was a man keeping his word and just saying, here.
But you realize most people don't monetize their life in such a way. I'm not saying that there's anything inherently illegal about it, but most people don't obtain sex tapes and then profit off of not releasing them, lawyers or otherwise.
No, the profit came after the initial release. That shit been out since like 03.
Which, the sex tapes?
04, yeah.
Well, the original one, yeah. But you supposedly had more.
Yeah, but again, and then Kanye went on a show and delivered the drive. Has anything ever come out?
Not yet, but Kim K's an op now, right?
She ain't my op. She ain't ever did nothing.
Well, she's Kanye's op, and you're Kanye's homie, right?
Well, that has nothing. That's his ex-wife, bro. That's the mother of his kids. But if you look at the Bootleg Cab show when he asked me about it.
He seems very upset with her.
No, when you asked me about it, he said, "Bro, what y'all can make?" So I said, "We would never do that, bro." Like, and at this time, I wasn't even, I knew Ye. We talked time to time, right? It wasn't no like that's my partner at this time, right? I said, just sitting over in the safe, like we ain't got no. That's it. He got kids by her, like on some real shit. We just give it to him. You wouldn't, absolutely not. Well, he asked me that on the show.
Okay.
So Ye called my phone. That nigga called me. Right? Hey, boom, boom, boom. I said, yeah. He said, I seen it. That's real? I said, yeah. I said, how could I get it? I said, I just had a little bro bring it to you because I don't want to have that discussion with him because that's his, you know what I'm saying? That was his wife.
So there was never a time where Big U said to you, hey, this weed shop, they owe me 20 grand. Can you go grab it?
I never did that type of.
So obviously he continues to press him and ask him about certain scenarios, and he continues to wiggle his way out of being accused of being an extortionist. There is more to it where Adam says, if we're being honest, you actually might be next in getting indicted. Now, if you know anything about an indictment, and especially a RICO, they get superseded before the trial, usually more than once. And a superseding indictment is where they add more charges. So this Big U thing, it's not over by a long shot. They just released the actual unsealed indictment after that complaint. I did talk about that in a previous upload as well. I do have the indictment. I'm actually reading through it now, and I may come back with more of the details in that indictment because this is huge. I live in LA, and I grew up not far from the 60s in another Crip hood, actually. And so for me, it's a huge deal that these guys have been swept up. And whether it's because the Olympics are coming, whether it's because Trump said, we're going to get rid of these gangs, whether it's because people, are speculating they're anticipating some type of a civil outbreak and they want to get rid of the gangs, whatever the case is, they had no business doing, if allegedly doing the things they're being accused of doing, pressing people for coming into the city, extorting artists, unaliving people for a diss song, all of the things. I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Shout out to Big Homie CC. If we want to believe what he's saying, that he's not involved in the Diddy lawsuit, then I guess again time will tell. But we can give him the benefit of the doubt. He does say that he works for victims. So, this is somebody we want to support. However, there are people in the world who say they do one thing when they're actually the opposite, and it's really just a cover. So honestly, we don't know. We don't know this man. We don't know any of these people. All we can do is report what comes out, and that's what I'm here to do. So like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.